Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday. It's me again, Trainer Dan. I'm back and going with you guys with some Motivation Monday is going to happen. With everything that's going on lately, I don't know if you've been watching the news, but with the craziness that's hit, the airline flights, the synagogue, all of that is going on. This is honestly the time when we need to put our blinders on and work hard. These next 45 days, if you don't do Medicare, if you only do under 65, these next 45 days are one of the times that you can actually make a huge change in both your career, but also your financial situation. It's open enrollment. This is what we kind of wait for all year round. And I know everyone's sitting there talking about, well, I don't make a lot of money off of selling major med. Open enrollment is just the time of year that lets our clients think that we have to go through and make our plan changes, right? This is when everybody gets their ducks in a row and says, this is what I'm going to do next year for health insurance. This is a great time for us to sell major med if that is what's right by our client, or to go through and sell them those short terms now that they are 12 months long. A lot of things are terming right now. We're getting up and going, but this is the time of year when we need to work hard. That being said, it says, don't watch the clock, do what it does and keep going. With open enrollment hitting, it's going to be that time where you just got to keep going, keep going, keep going. Having a bad day, you're only selling maybe one client that day, that's okay. Next day, we're just going to keep going. So what I'm going to hit today is I'm going to hit 10 quick things you can do to help you get up and running and going with open enrollment. A few of them are obvious. A few of them you may want to take notes on. Now, I did take a look. There are a few new people. Welcome. If this is your first Motivation Monday on there. We're going to go through a tip of the week. This one was actually emailed out. We're going to take a look at our trends. We're going to take a look at our sales leaders. We did have kind of an uptick today, so we had a turnover there. And in the end, we always end with a sales technique. Now, we're probably going to cut down on doing some of the Motivation Mondays for open enrollment because it's both OEP and AEP, and we want to make sure that you're spending the time selling instead of spending the time in meetings, right? That's why we do what we do, and this is why we work for ourselves. So the tip of the week for this week is about that IHC bonus. Now, I know we don't do a ton of IHC business. Depends on the states that you both work in. I know when they pulled out of California, that was a pretty hard hit for us. But they are doing $50 per issued policy coming up here. Take a look at that. So it's running through the end of the year. They're doing $50 for us. There are a ton of other carriers that are doing bonuses for us as well. And they're on the AHCPsales.com website. So take a look at what bonuses are out there. There's about 4 running right now. This one is new to us. New-ish, I guess it's kind of been going. But this is a very nice one. It's an extra $50 for doing what you do. And it's for that metal gap too, and that new fusion policy they have out, which is that short-term medical with the mix of those fixed benefits that are on there. IHC is a pretty good short term. I'm a pretty big fan of it. It's more of a bare bone short term. So when your clients can't afford too much, this is a good place to put them. So tip of the week, this was emailed out. Take a look at our website as well. There are the details about that bonus in the website. And let's take a look at what our trends are now. So we had a pretty good week last week, not going to lie. So we had an increase, obviously, in short-term sales. Our short-term sales have kind of skyrocketed since the 12 months. And that's what I wasn't expecting. Here's the thing, don't be completely heartbroken when they kind of start slowing down a little because we hit them so hard right now. That being said, the fixed benefit sales should stay pretty strong. They're really good to mix with those major med policies. Obviously, they're great to mix with those short-term medical policies as well. But we had a pretty healthy increase there in the fixed benefit, leading actually with the foundation health. Now with the short-term, we were leading, of course, with that national general, but also almost tied with pivot. So we are kicking butt with that pivot. Now, increase in accident sales there, leading, of course, with National General. We do love them. Now, last week, there was a pretty good webinar out there for VBA that was recorded. I'd recommend taking a look at it. They have a great accident medical expense product. No change in the critical illness. Now, we usually lead with National General, but also, what is VBL now? Colorado Bankers Life, Colorado Banker Services. They have a really good critical illness. I would take a look at it. One of the things that's nice about that it does have that one category for any terminal illness, where everybody else has those specific ones lined up. And a slight decrease, there was like 4 policies down in dental there, leading with that NatGen for the dental. Some sales shout outs today. So in our limited benefits, Katya, good job taking gold there. Robert Swander taking silver, and then Elaine, of course. Good job taking, or Andrew taking bronze. Gave away off the next one, didn't I? Okay, so for our short-term shout-outs there, we have Dustin, who took gold. We have Cody, who took silver, and Elaine, sorry about that, you are taking bronze. So good job for all of them. Now, we went through and we gave you the tip of the week about that IHC bonus. We went through and take a look at our sales trends, which are all fairly healthy there. We took a look at our sales leaders who are kicking butt as always. So let's jump into our sales technique. Now, I know some of us are up and running right now with the AEP, and that's great. Go through, keep that up and going. But if you are the under 65 sailors like me, I've been doing under 65 for a very long time. This is what I love. Here's some tips for an effective open enrollment. Your very first one here should be start pre-setting now, or pre-selling, depending on how you want to put that. What do I mean by that? Well, guess what, guys? The rates are already up there on healthcare.gov, so you should go and be taking a look. If any of your clients are on major meds, go through, pull up their rates now. That one's going to make it a little easier for you. It's going to cut out some time in the sales process. Also go through, one of the things that I really like is I go through and I set my clients right now, right? When do I want to call them? That's a very, very big one. If you haven't gone through and do that, you may want to. Some people go absolutely crazy on the first. I like to set my previous clients actually a few weeks in. That's usually the slowest time for open enrollment. If this is your first open enrollment, week 1, week 2, crazy, week 3, week 4, kind of slow because you just went from crazy. And then of course they finish it off with the first few weeks of December, which the last week is always just a mess because that's how life is, right? Other things too. So when you are calling your clients, a pretty good thing to do is do your gathering worksheet or your fact finding right away. So saying, hey, you know what? I know we're going to set a phone call here for the end of November, but I just want to go through and see if anything changed. So when I do give you a call there in the end of November, I can make sure to get you the right policy. That way you can leave your first few days open to as many new clients as possible, but then also go through and make sure you are helping and working your existing client business. Most of mine are already preset. Most of my clients are already out there and they're in my books for a few weeks from now. So I would recommend taking a look at the same. So here's my thing. So yeah, we are going to open up that first period for new clients, right? I recommend opening up week 1, even week 2 for some of your new clients, unless you're worried about your other clients falling off, but if you've been working them for a while, clients I've been doing for years, so not super worried about them. Shoppers start early. These are the first people that will call you right away. So you're going to get those new clients day 1, blowing up your phones, right? As always, every year is kind of the same. The shoppers start early. You're probably already getting a lot of them right now. That's okay. Just don't give out quotes. Let them know that you customize plans. That's the big one. So when the shoppers are sitting there hitting you like, I want a quote, I want a quote, I want a quote. Well, actually, you know what I do? I'm a broker. I work with about 10 different companies. I work with all of the big names out there in the industry. And I don't actually just throw out quotes like that. I go through and I customize those plans. I just want to make sure you're going to get the exact benefits that you need. So doing that one, let them know, hey, you know what? I'm not a quote machine. That is not my job, but I'm here to customize the plan for you. All I need is about 10 minutes of your time. We're going to go through, get a few questions done, then I can go through and customize that as much as possible. Now, that being said, keep in mind, they are the shoppers, right? Those are the people saying, I get it. You know, open enrollment actually doesn't start for a few days. So let's go through, let's gather some information. I'll call you back on the first. Bam. Also with those shoppers, I love this one. Set boundaries early. Shoppers are notoriously time sucks, right? Who knows, even if they're going to buy, it seems like 5 out of 10 times, like half the time, they try to buy it online anyway. They just want to ask you questions and they're afraid of using a broker, but they want to harass you and spend your time. So set boundaries early. You know, I'm extremely busy. This is actually my busiest time of year. So I'm not going to have time to go around and chase you with this. You know, here's the time. Here's what I have set. If that time doesn't work, I do need you to contact me at least an hour beforehand. Set boundaries. This is the time of year where you get to be that parent, right? You get to go through and everybody's sitting there asking and whining that they want stuff, they want stuff, they want stuff. Well, you're busy. Set boundaries. Let them know that if they do need to cancel, especially, I mean, this is notorious for shoppers, that they have to give you time beforehand. You know, you're not going to have time to chase. You can send out, a good way of doing that too is sending out emails, because a lot of times shoppers will respond with the emails, right? So thing two, if you are sending out emails of the information or of what you are pitching, don't give them a ton of brochures. It's just, they're just going to get lost in the weeds. So what you can do is just send a fact email. This policy, here's a quick one line of what it does, cost. Policy, line, cost. Bam, you're going to nail through it pretty dang quick. And if you have not done this, tip 4 there is post on your social media today, right, about what you do. just letting you know, my social media is already blown up with it. People have gone through and contacted me from my social media about actually going through and purchasing insurance. So go through, let them know what's going on today. Again, when we were talking about social media a few months ago, you need to keep it relevant. You need to keep a reason going through and doing that. Here's a good one. Just let you know, I have my rates out already for those major med policies coming up this year. Give me a call if you want to go through and discuss that. So you can go through and you can get them doing it today. Post today what you do and what time of year it is. Most of my agents have already gone through and done that. So I'd recommend you doing the same. Also, don't cut corners. This is one of the most notorious things. So people love to cut corners during open enrollment. And then when a claim comes in and you find out that you might not have done the right thing because you cut corners, your client cancels. Yes, we can make a ton of money during open enrollment, but do it right. Follow that sales process. If you don't have a sales process, take a look on our website. We have sales scripts. Take a look at the YouTube channel. There's videos about it. Follow a sales process. So that way you can avoid your chargebacks, right? Do it the same way every time. Even if your client calls up saying, hey, I know exactly what I want, go through, do your introduction, do your fact finding, go through if you have to hang up the phone and give them a call back so we can do really good information on exactly what policies to get, right? We want to give them a comprehensive policy, the most comprehensive policy they can afford, right? By doing that, we have to do the sales process. Call them back, do the same plan presentation, make sure that they completely understand it. Because again, if they don't understand something, that will be a cancel. So do a really good quality job, right? And you want to cut corners. I want to cut corners during open enrollment too. Don't. Do it right. Learn from my mistakes. Very first year, cut quite a few corners, got quite a few chargebacks. Okay. Keep your follow-up consistent. If you have not hired an assistant yet, I recommend doing that. If you have a loved one in your life who will do this for you, even better, right? So what we said, I always do a follow-up 14 days after to make sure they get their ID cards, they have their packet, and to see if they do have any questions, right? This is the best time to catch anybody who's going to cancel. People go through, they have buyer's remorse every time, right? You buy a policy of buyer's remorse. They need you just to call back and say, everything's going to be okay. Do that, right? So with this one, keep your follow-up consistent. Set them for 14 days. Say, you know what? Either myself or my assistant's going to be giving you a call in 14 days just to make sure that you got your ID card and to see if there are any additional questions. Now, you know your assistant can't answer questions. We know that. They are not, unless they're licensed, right? They are not licensed, but that's okay. They can go through and they can just filter them out. Be like, oh, that's a really good question. Let me do this. My agent, Dan, will give you a call. Most of the time, there won't be questions. And if they don't have the policy packet, no, wow, you don't have your policy packet yet. Well, you know what? I know it's actually it's open enrollment, so things are a little crazy, but let me do this. I'll call the carrier and find out and get back to you. Again, when they pay their premium, that's when they get paid. So I want my clients to stick on the books. And then clean up your supplement sales, right? So here's one, make sure all your attestations are done. I know it's one of the things we've struggled with recently. All those carriers are making those attestation changes. HII went through that huge compliance thing we needed to get done, that Gen change with their attestations. So make sure, A, they're all done. But the next thing is that when it comes to selling the major med, you have to be FFM certified, right? But some people have their clients go through healthcare.gov to do it themselves. If they do that, make sure that their supplements are done first, right? If you are not walking your clients through the healthcare.gov, make sure that you have all of their supplements done and the attestation signed, because if anything goes wrong, you want to make sure that at least they have that part covered, right? Our job is to make sure our clients are properly covered. Don't forget prescriptions as well. So this is a huge one. A lot of people like to skip. They say, you know what, they have a bronze plan, the prescriptions are fine. Yeah, but all they get is that discount. They're going to pay everything into $7,900. We sent out those emails recently. We have the Ally, we have Pram. All those emails you should go through and make sure that you at least have one prescription vendor and that they should be pitched with every policy. Even if it's not one of the big things, your client can bring up prescriptions, not a problem. Go through individual costs of the policies. You know what? I actually do have we didn't really talk about this. We have prescription coverage as well. It's about $50 a month. Is that something you'd like to add on? You know, it's not part of the initial conversation because maybe that wasn't a pain point of theirs, but have it. You know, I actually had one of my agents, he is in Missouri, started doing that. Just literally adding a little line at the end going, you know, we actually didn't talk about prescription coverage. It's about $50 a month. Is that something you'd like to add? He said every other client actually has purchased it so far, just by doing that stupid line. So add that in. You know, we haven't talked about this, but would you like to add that on? Okay, here's another one. Use a self-appointment system so clients can book themselves, right? So here's a big one. If you guys have never used one of these, they're really, really fun. You can put these on your social media to make sure your clients can book it, and it lets them go through and select a time and put in the information for you to call them. Simple ones down there, simplebook.me or Booker. Those are both of them are free. You go through, create an appointment system. Your clients go through, put it on your website, put it on your social media. They click it, they put in their time, they put in the phone number and what they want to discuss. Pretty easy. We started using them. I have a few agents in Florida that have been using them, and they absolutely love it. Now, it's not going to be the end all be all, right? It's not going to be that one crazy thing that's going to completely change your year, but it's going to add a few more customers for you because that will be the people who are really afraid to reach out. Right? We want to hit all different types of customers. We talked about those. The shoppers in the beginning. We talked about working your previous book, but what about the shy customers, right? Those are people who once they purchase, they will stick with you for a really long time. This is a good passive way for them to get you. It's also a funny thing because any of your referral sources like friends and family can just say, oh, it's really easy, go here, just click on the link, they'll give you a call. So it's like building a referral system without building a full referral system. And the last one is just relax, it'll be okay. It's about to get nuts. It's coming up really, really quick. Thursday's gonna hit and we're just gonna be off the hook. But keep in mind, it will be okay. If you do have questions, there's a ton of resources there for you. I mean, if you need help, one of the first things to do is you can always call agency services. That phone number at the bottom, first line there. Give the agency services a call. They can't answer it. They're going to send it to somebody who can. You can email training@ahcpsales.com, of course. That will get to us, and we'll be able to answer it. But other than that, feel free to reach out to agency services. They're a really, really, really good resource. And in the end, push harder than yesterday if you want a different tomorrow. It's just an old English proverb there. So if you want to hit that next level in your career, if you want to hit that next sales goal, push yourself just a little harder. Keep in mind, a lot of us are going to be starting working 12-hour days because there's so much money to be made this year. We want to get new clients. Don't forget to work your old, but you want those new clients just because we want to always expand our book of business. Well, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Feel free to give agency services a call. Mail us directly there at training@ahcpsales.com. But if not, have a great start of open enrollment, everybody, and see you next Monday.